Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. In this episode, I want to share this idea for 3D therapy. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm gonna search for ideas from Lexica. This is a all AI generated imagery or visual, and I just searched for abstract sculptures, and you got hundreds of results. All right, it's not like Google Image because this is actually like randomly generated on the fly using AI. So whatever you see here is all AI generated, and you can take this as inspiration for your creations inside Blender, for example, if you want to make 3D. Yeah, there's so many ideas. You can take one. This for today. For the 3D therapy, I will actually be using this tool called Ball Pen by my online friend Kushiro, Blender developer. This is an old tool. I've been using this for a few years. So it's basically like drawing spheres or drawing this rectangular cube on 3D, but it's if you are using this tool, it's a little bit like using grease pencil, but also it's kind of charming little tools. I think it's around $3. Yeah. So if I also have this diffusion B, I can actually like make like tell it to create abstract sculpture made of random geometry. I think this will actually generate something on the fly while we are doing the 3D therapy. Yeah, this might take a while, so I will just switch back to Blender and bring this ball pen add-on. I haven't used this for a while, so I will start from the very bottom. This is how you use it, how you use the tool. So there are many ways to do sculpture inside Blender. Of course, you can, for example, use metaballs or use grease pencil. If you use metaball, it's just a matter of selecting the right shape of metaballs and then just try to merge everything together, select all, maybe duplicate it. That will give you a random sculpture. This is a good exercise just to create a form, just random looking form. I think with metaballs, if you like the results, you just right click and convert to mesh. That's the fastest way to get rid of everything. And of course, this is 3D, right? Blender, you can always just duplicate and then copy, doing things like that. There's some random abstract objects. Yeah, let's try this tool actually. Start with the default cube. Let's see actually our creations. This is random abstract objects, random geometries, sphere, cube. Yeah, you can actually go a little bit crazy. Yeah, something like that, and then just tell it to generate like 10 image or 100. I'm using I'm using diffusion B on this. Works on Apple M1. It's actually pretty fast now, maybe one image every minute, or it can be faster, but yeah. Let's get back to this guy, Lexica Kushiro. Okay, later on maybe I will use grease pencil. For now I just gonna go to edit mode, select an object, hit edit. So we are editing this cube, right click, select ball pen. Now we are inside the tool, left mouse button to draw on any surface. Okay, this one will draw it on any surface. I think it's kind of painting it on the surface. Oh, we probably need to hold C, or actually hold control. Yeah, holding control will allow you to paint on top of the surface, so you can keep accumulating on top of the surface like this, similar to if you are using curve and geometry nodes. So this is pretty cool. started to get some kind of interesting looking sculpture, right? And if I'm not holding the C, it's just gonna draw it on the plane, invisible plane. Okay, we can go to different view of the camera, and it's gonna try to, I think it's, at first it's snapping on whatever surface you're touching using this target, and then it will just gonna grow the sphere from that. It's very simple to use. I know the new feature of this tool is that you can use the bracket. So while drawing, you can use the bracket, make it smaller or make it bigger and make it smaller again. So you have, yeah, it's very relaxing kind of exercise. Okay, let's go to different view. So you can imagine you're like a kind of like a in 3D space, just doing this painting. Oh, okay, the last cursor, unlike grease pencil, with grease pencil you can actually make it touching the last stroke, so something to keep in mind. Like this, if I want to touch it there, it's not as easy. Using grease pencil you can do that. If I want to just draw from here to there, okay, it's not touching. What else can we do here? Rotate the last stroke. Okay, so let's say I want to make this touching that guy over there. Definitely it's not gonna work. But after you draw the stroke, you can always tap R and you can rotate and make it touching. You can also grab, I think, yeah, using G, you can grab R to rotate from that pivot, and then G. Anyhow, we're just randomly drawing things. Remember C, or actually Control, we can snap the ball pen into that surface. It's totally strange way of working, but it's actually really relaxing. GR, right click, select objects. After you select, you can press G to move or rotate. Okay, A to switch to rectangle. If I tap A, it's gonna switch to this rectangle mode. Okay, cool. Yeah, rectangle. I believe if you hold Control, I can snap between the two rectangle. This is a cool feature. If you like this kind of way of working, you can use also a grease pencil or a Feather 3D app. It's very cool. With Feather 3D, you're working with a reference plane, but now with this, it's like more like a free form. So it's totally random. You can do like a tree branching. Yeah, it's a 3D sculpture. It's pretty abstract anyway. Once you're done, I think you can hit escape and yeah, back to the, let's save this very quickly. Sculpture. Let's say you're happy with this. You can mirror and maybe apply. You can remesh this to reduce the geometry. Okay, maybe 0.2 smooth shading. Apply, save. Let's check out our AI, whether it's doing its job. Yeah, we are doing not a bad job. This one abstract, but it's not great. Sometimes it's producing some interesting objects, but anyhow, our creation is much better, right? So let's go full screen now. Yeah, the ball sphere, I highly recommend these tools. There's more to these tools, but yeah, more or less you can create something like this in 3D. So with our sculpture, let's see if you want, you can use use grease pencil or just paint it. If I use additional grease pencil, let's try Shift A, grease pencil, blank, draw mode. So now we are in grease pencil mode. Right click, I will increase the strength and the radius, and I will use the ink pen, and I will perhaps draw on the surface, reduce the offset, stroke placement. I can place the stroke at 3D cursor or origin. Yeah, let's try this first. So I'm drawing on top of this object. Maybe if I want to add some kind of details, it seems to be floating, so I need to reduce the offset to 0.04, for example. So in this case, I'm just like tracing on top of the surface. I don't know why I want to do this, but maybe just for some detailing. Okay, it's still kind of floating, which is pretty weird. What's going on? Draw surface. Okay, 0.0002. Okay, now it's actually attached to the surface. Let's delete everything and paint over. If I'm not wrong, if you're in this mode, you go outside, it's still kind of makes sense like that. Yeah, it's keeping the plane based on that first stroke. The cool thing about grease pencil, of course, you can attach from stroke to stroke, from this point to that point, for example. It's very easy to do that with grease pencil. So maybe if you really want to draw details, just draw a lot of strokes, grease pencil strokes on top of the surface, and then you start connecting points to points. Like if I want to connect this guy to this guy, I can switch to stroke and then just draw the connections. Okay, so that's an idea. You can mirror it, apply. If you're really happy with the stroke and you want to make it into a real mesh, you can right click, convert it into Bezier curve, and hide the grease pencil. Now we have this curve. We can use geometry nodes or simply just bevel this. The next thing, maybe the final thing we can do, is you can pick between these two. You can use vertex paint or you can use texture paint. Even better, you can actually use sculpt mode. Okay, sculpt mode is really powerful, especially in the recent Blender. There is this color filter. Actually, not color filter. The paint is just like vertex color, just a little bit. Just a lot faster. This is a lot faster than normal vertex paint. Believe it or not. Just believe me, it's a lot faster, and you can just paint over whatever you have here, randomly painting this very quickly. Just pick a color. Actually, right click also enable you to pick color very quickly. Yeah. Just marking around. And sculpt, go to sculpt mode. If you want to, you can use the cloth filter and inflate. I like this. I like doing this a lot. So inflate and deflate. You can inflate it like really crazy size, just a little bit. You can always actually just you can also use expand or inflate. I like inflate better because it's more organic. Let's say you like that, and just assign a material metallic. Okay, we can't see the color. That's because we need to apply into the color here, into the vertex color, into the base color. So go to the shader editor, vertex color, select the color. This is from sculpting, right? It's working. You can add subsurface metallicness. Yes, pretty abstract. If you're happy, you can put it on a default cube, maybe. Just give it a color. Can rotate it. Let's say you're happy with this, happy or not, we're gonna render this. Give it some kind of sunlight. I mean, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna do like some AI things on top of this creations. Okay, maybe it's a good idea to have floor. I don't know, maybe I need to have sky as well. But let's see how good this is gonna be. It's gonna screenshot that thing. Okay, let's go to AI, diffusion B, and let's see. Image to image. Just add an input image. Random, cool looking, beautiful. Oh, okay, modern sculpture made of lobster, fish, worm, crabs, whatever. Modern sculpture made of. Okay, this is our. It's gonna be our reference for the AI, and then the input strings somewhere around here. Tell it to make 10 image, guidance scale. I think everything else seems to be okay. At first it might not look so great, but we will see. We can actually specify modern sculpture in the middle of the desert or something. It's gonna take some time to load the model. In the meantime, we can go back to Blender. Let's create a sky. Remember this trick, dynamic sky, and just simply switch to this mode, and we have a sky. I need to improve this. workflow. We can have more realistic sky, but this is pretty good. You can maybe write down your signature here. Let's say this could be the reference for the AI. Save. Back to this guy. It's gonna take around 1 minute per image generations. It's not a bad thing, right? Okay, this is exactly what I want. what I want to create, something a little bit crazier. Really, if we can just translate it into this, the 3D geometry into this, and then, or maybe we can improve what we have already created. Yeah, it's a little bit crazier. The AI is a little bit crazier than normal human minds. If you're everyone is in a part of being like an artist, right? So that's what I thought, and maybe yeah, we can try different method. Mage space. This is also, we can use a similar method, right? Image string, the prompt string, just put it somewhere here. And modern sculpture, yeah. Modern sculpture made of random ocean creatures, crab, fish, lobster, in the middle of the desert. Generate something. This is using the online AI tools. See, I mean, the default cube is really just to place the sculpture, right? And then sometimes the creation is super random and it doesn't look like anything, but it tries to look at these shapes anyway, so it creates random result. Yeah, I like this. Let's rerun this. It takes sometimes faster online, but if you're doing it offline, you can go to sleep, just make 100 creations based on this. This actually make a real crab. Let's rerun this. Next to the ocean. Modern sculpture made of lobster, fish, worms, crabs, sushi. Next to the ocean. So we have sculpture by the sea. Generate. The first time you're running this, the model takes a while. But the next time you do this, it's like it's gonna like takes 30 seconds to generate. Okay, the crab is actually really strong in this case. Rerun. It's really creating crab, I mean some kind of creatures. Shells. You need to be creative with the prompting as well. So in a way, this is kind of to just brainstorming ideas. You are doing like a 3D therapy. So you're making random abstract stuff, but then you want to make it. This is cool. You want to have something that's a little bit more solid. You know, like maybe this is from this to that. You can now have more ideas to work with when you're creating your sculptures. This one is inspired by ocean creatures, for example. We like to have our ocean cleans of the garbage, for example. So you make that statement and then you make this kind of sculpture, kind of like a celebrations of the ocean creatures or something. Look at this sculpture, right? It's beautiful. It's really beautiful, and I just want to save it. just gonna download it. I can rerun. The sculpture is made of what's left inside the oceans. Oh, by the way, there's something cool with Diffusion B where you can just switch the model. Instead of using default, I can use Redshift Diffusion or Van Gogh. Let's try Redshift Diffusion and generate. It's gonna load the model with this size, 512 by 448 random pixel. This one's also beautiful. I think the shell and the, I don't know, there's definitely something about this. That's, the AI is actually really happy to take our our base reference model and then just create the result. I would love to print this out. I can create AR, which is just very easy to do, abstract AR sculpture, but the AI render is really just another level. If you want to go back, you want to come back to this and then improve the design and following this concept by AI, feel free to do that as well. Some of them are really cool. I quite like this. Rerun this. So with Mage Space, it's gonna create new sculpt every few seconds, and you just need to hit rerun. You cannot do a batch. With this Diffusion B, you can run this overnight and have 100 different variations. So this is pretty, I think, pretty fun process. So based on the simple design, you can tell AI to generate something new over and over again. The details, I think, really makes the difference, and the coloring. Yeah. Oh, I downloaded it twice. Yeah, this is not bad. It's getting better. This is using Redshift Diffusion, so we also get a new look based on that. Look at the base have changed, and the top part is more colorful. Yeah, so if we really want to make this, to improve this, just like our prompt here, lobster, fish, worm, crabs, sushi, and yeah, we want to create something that has more, what is it, not value, is this one looks very basic. This one actually have more to it. Yeah, this one's even cooler. You see like a lobster kind of design there. So we need to train our brain to actually create this. Okay, this one is beautiful, really. Just another level. Anyhow, so that's the whole process. It's a 3D therapy. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.